Hi there, welcome to this week's Quarantine Cup playoffs. We only had 4 people make it out this week. So and one of the fourth Minion Pond couldn't make the playoffs, so he just started taking our top 2 to play a little final match. And it'll be a best of 3. I don't know what we'll do for tie rules. Well, maybe we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I think we'll probably play it the way we normally do, just tie wins. All right, so I don't know what we'll say it is. Hopefully we just have outright winners. This board will be eventually a big bridge thing, but takes a little bit. I guess it'll go pretty quick once they start buying the lost cities, since they'll be helping each other out. This feels like too many. I don't know. This feels like too much. I mean, they obviously had bad luck to collide the amulet and the develop, but it still feels like a little bit. So maybe a little too greedy on adding terminals there. I'm not sure what the develop is. The develop doesn't look very exciting to me either, just sort of in general. Compared to an amulet, I think you'd rather just get thin than try to gain anything. You really only need to buy a bridge and then hit 5 like once, and so I don't know. There are of course tricks develop can do later on down the line, but I'm not sure that means you take one this early. Chad didn't find their bridge, which is quite unfortunate. Bottom decked it. They don't bottom deck it. They have Lost City Bridge by. Pretty good odds of drawing the next turn as well. Talisman, I don't know. It's hard for me to think that the Talisman is the play there versus just like maybe just another Lost City so that you draw. Because there is still a chance of just not drawing at all. Nisala might be thinking about developing now. Going Haven into what? They're doing a Talisman, but do they have enough? Will they draw enough money? The Talisman isn't doing anything this turn, and in fact, they're just not even reaching any useful price points. I mean, you can set the Talisman aside, I guess. Maybe that's the play. But it doesn't seem clear to me. This time Shad didn't find the talisman. So, or the spice merchant. You really just need to buy a Lost City. I mean, you have to have them. I mean, it kind of sucks to draw them cards, but like you have to have the Lost Cities. I don't know if you don't buy them now, when do you get them? I don't get the silver at all. The silver has to be bad. You don't need a second silver. Not when you still have the 2 other coppers and the talisman. Like, you'll have enough money. You're not really likely to even draw all of it, so. These are so. This is like, they don't have the balance of payload and draw here. And I guess it's kind of hard, but these decks just seem so awkward at the moment. Like, again, well, like here, Naysal will definitely double Lost City. I guess that makes Shad's drawing pretty safe. Or I don't know. I guess we'll see what Shad ends up with if the silver did something. I don't think that was the play. Okay. Oh, he's just gonna empty them. That's interesting. Now that is interesting. The draw, I mean, you do it all at once, the draw benefit doesn't do that much. I mean, Naysal will be able to do gain and play off develop, but 7 Lost Cities might make it tough. Naysal has to start thinking about how they can, essentially they have to look at ways to mill the bridges, I think, just to take away some payload. I'm not sure it'll matter. Now Shad, it would have been nice for Shad to be able to get a that wasn't really possible, but to get a develop now for them, they can make good use of it. But yeah, it's tough here. Like, what kind of angle can Naysal even do to take a win here? I don't think you can outscore, so you probably have to lower and hope to 3-pile. Like, I mean, next turn, Shad can get a lot of bridges. Again, if like Naysal can empty the bridges, that's one thing, though. Then they're gonna have to get rid of them somehow, because it's not like again, yeah. So you have to get into a position to have some kind of 3-pile threat, which basically means you need more talisman, I guess. But still, it's like, what do you... This is still just... You can get more talismans the next turn as well. And I guess you could buy a talisman. I'm just not sure. And they're not going to draw a deck either, because they're not going to have 3 extra cards drawn for them this time. Or it was more than that, 6 extra cards drawn for them. I just don't see... I don't see how they get the piles gone in time, and the province doesn't do anything. Yeah, and now they're totally dudded. They're not, Shad's not giving them any help. I guess there's some world where Shad gains no, Shad can't even do that. I was gonna say gains a Sacred Grove, pardon me, gets a bit. I guess Naysal has a Haven set aside, so there's some out possibilities, but it's extremely unlikely. I mean, Chad has to make sure they don't open up a 3 pile. If I were Chad, I would get develops so that I can just gain and play the bridges. So don't lower the bridges now, but just get get a couple develops and then like a province or something, so that you have the develops. And you can do gain and play the next turn. Is kind of what I'm thinking. You just get Sacred Groves and bridges. That's interesting. And Naysala is obviously full duds, but I wonder if there was a out for Naysala. Oh, I didn't dud. You can't set aside the develop. No, you need the develop. It should have been a bridge, I think. This is like really close to a pile out. It should have been, well, I don't know a bridge. It should have been a silver, I think. This is extremely close to a pile out. That's the thing, is like if you could even got another talisman in play somehow. Shed should not have lowered the bridges. That was really bad. But if either Naysala had found their other talisman, because then they have 12 gains in that empty, you do talisman bridges, you do some coppers, and you triumph, and you get, it's easy. I guess to be fair to Shad, the bridge gains didn't actually move the needle on that. If Naysala had drawn this hand but with the other talisman, then the bridges Shad took wouldn't have changed that. So maybe it was just not feasible anyway. I would have thought about theirs Naysala going as hard as I could on a triumph and emptying, like they had 4 buys. Well, I don't know. I mean, now Shad will just win. A little bit of a play order mistake by Shad. You should play one of the Sacred Groves before the last Lost City, but it won't matter. Anyway, Shad can empty talismans and bridges now. Or, yeah, groves, whatever things. Well, that was interesting. I'd like to go back and check on some of this stuff played out and see what some of the other options were there, because that was, I mean, Naysala is very close to just having a win. I think, maybe I'm wrong. What were the buys? Maybe they wouldn't have had enough buys. It might have been awkward. I guess I was counting the gains a little bit, over counting the gains, because, well, the talismans were a multiple of 3, but the bridges weren't. So like, either it was 2 or 4, and so you wouldn't just auto empty them with 1 if there were 4, and then a single buy, you wouldn't get quite the same number of gains. I'd have to think about it. Naysala has a taxman. Naysala, we played a game. They went for a flag bearer really early, and I didn't really like it, but it worked out for them. I kind of went for a different thing, try to build up on a board where the building wasn't quite so good, and still lost. But Yeah, I'm not super convinced by the tax man. I don't know what. I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to go for festival hunting grounds. And then, like, probably vault once you have some green. So I don't. Can't imagine the taxman along the way does so much for the payload, but Shad once goes ahead and takes a flag bearer. It was pretty nice here because it got him into this next shuffle as well. So it was a pretty good timing for that as far as that kind of stuff goes. The bad news, of course, is that now you both you and your opponent have a flag bearer and you don't have the flag. So that's always the downside. I mean, the upside is, of course, that Shad's deck is actually just like way better than Nasala's as far as being clean, and that's gonna matter a lot. And it will probably matter more than any other consideration here. They also redrew the festival on this hand, so this will be winning because this is a pilgrimage with, festival hunting grounds, maybe with flag bearer. Yeah, so you trash 2 coppers here, or you could, yeah, this is okay. I think I would have went ahead and, but I mean, if you draw these opening hands, then it doesn't matter. I think I would have trashed with Stewart just to clean myself up a little bit. I don't know. The taxman I really dislike. But now Shad's gonna go like pilgrimage, whatever. Can get a vault. You have a bunch of like. Yeah, Skiing Festival Gold is just way, way worse of a pilgrimage than the one Shad got. The golds just aren't very good. Yeah, so Shad gets to trash 2 compers probably. I like Festival Scheme Pilgrimage for Shad here. I think. Scheme is quite nice for this festival hunting ground thing. Just have 2 of them and then you're pretty set as far as draw consistency. I don't like the giant. I don't really like the giant at all. It's just I mean, Shad is getting lucky that they're pulling these opening hands for sure. They have the better deck also, but getting lucky to draw festival hunting grounds over and over. I don't like the giant. I really don't like the giant. It's just greedy. You don't need it. You don't need to attack them to beat them. You're just ahead on everything. And it's just a lot of resources to do the attack here. I think it's a lot worse than getting a pilgrimage because I think the pilgrimages are pretty juicy here. Shad should just trash copper in one of the flag bearers. I think. I still don't really like this all that much. I like the they did pilgrimage. Okay. Yeah, I missed that somehow. All right. Well, that's very good, but I'm just confused. When did Chad get a scheme? Guess they've had a scheme. I must be missing some buy somewhere that I didn't see. Right, so now Shad will just trash Flag Bearer to get the flag back. That's easy. Oh no, they didn't draw. I would get a vault, and like I wouldn't have taken Flag Bearer. I would have gone like Scheme, Vault, Hunting Grounds, Province. Ah, they opened the scheme. that would be a key buy. Thank you. I think that is a good opening too. Man, I don't like Shad's buys. I don't think there's almost any way Shad can lose, but I still don't like their buys. The fighting over the flag stuff is so funny. I think it's fine, but there have been some times where it's looked a little questionable. To buy a $4 card that you don't play very much is expensive. I mean, you just look at what they're holding. I would 100% trash. I would probably have trashed both Flag Bearers. You have another one still even. It's very weird. Oh, they've got the old giant pilgrimage interaction. That was how the token got flipped. Missed that too. I hate the gold. The gold's awful. It should be a vault for sure. Or just another hunting grounds. Palace, like to do it for a palace point is just doesn't do anything. There's no reason. I don't think. Buy copper for palace points also just does nothing for you at this point. You can, if you need to at the end buy it, you know, you don't need to spend a buy on it in the middle of this. It seems like I mean, I don't know exactly, but it definitely feels like there was probably a win there. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I like the not taxman thing a lot. Didn't love every decision, but that's okay. But I did like the opening a lot better for Shad. All right then. Congrats to Shad on winning this week's Quarantine Cup, and congrats to Nacelot on second. Thanks everybody for listening and watching, and I'll catch you later.